What's up, Lions Nation? Welcome to another We Are Lions Nation podcast live. I am Andy Stoles. Joining me, as always, Mr. Logan Erickson and
What's
Mike
up?
Bird. And our special guest today, Lions fan Ben Robinson, is joining us on the live show tonight. So, guys, what's up? How's it going?
Hey, not bad, man. Ready for this show.
Ben Robinson is joining us on the live show tonight. So, guys, what's up? How's it going?
Somebody's lagging.
No, it's Mike's YouTube feed.
I fixed it.
Hey, we're
Sorry.
live. That's what happens when you're live. This is what happens when you're live.
Difficulty.
So welcome to the show. Sorry it's been a little bit, but we wanted to get back onto our regularly scheduled Tuesday night show for the post game. We got a great show. A lot of big things happened in the past few days that we want to talk about. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to break into it and break it all down for you guys tonight. So to get started, we're going to start out with the game breakdown from last Thursday's Thanksgiving Day matchup with the Lions and the Texans. Lions losing that one 41-25. Pretty disappointing, and we're going to jump right into the face of stats with Logan Erickson. Logan, what do you got for the stats for that last game?
Man, it's kind of crazy the way the stats look. The Lions beat Houston in pretty much everything going down the line. Houston had a total of 50 plays on offense. Detroit was at 76, which is kind of surprising because the Lions were on the field a lot more than Houston was, but we were still unable to score. And I think that had to do with the 3 turnovers from our offense, the 1 pick six, and then the 2 fumbles that we lost, carry on with one of them and Stafford with the other. Stafford was 28 of 43, got sacked 4 times, so that protection kind of broke down for him as well. That didn't help at all. Houston only put up 77 yards rushing, so our rushing defense was looking pretty good in that game. And Houston scored 21 points off of turnovers, so each one of them turnovers turned into a touchdown. Houston was 3 for 9 on third down. Detroit was 6 for 13. And then minus the turnovers, we pretty much dominated that game. Even the time of possession, we beat Houston. We had 7 minutes longer on the field offensively than Houston did. I just think it was just a breakdown in turning the ball over. We got to keep control of that ball. It's the name of the game.
Yeah, I agree. We were kind of talking about this, pre-show in the pre-show meeting that, on paper, the Lions won that game. And if it wasn't for those 3 turnovers, the Lions could have won or should have won that game. And, I think it all came down to those 3 turnovers, like you talked about, Logan, earlier, that the Lions lost that game. I think that's the only reason the Lions lost that game was because of those turnovers. Exactly. that interception for the pick 6 by Watt. I mean, I don't necessarily blame that on Stafford. I think Watt just made a great play on the ball there. So I don't necessarily put that all on Stafford. Mike, what was your take as far as the Thanksgiving Day game against Houston? Are you on the same page, basically, that those turnovers are what caused that loss?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think they look good. Otherwise, they had some, seemed like they had some good things going for them there. They, had good plays, good catches, and just kind of didn't put it together the way we would have liked. But yeah, those turnovers were what hurt us the most.
Ben, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, like you said, J.J. Watt, he was playing against us like he was a rookie, so he put up a good show, and that's why he got the interception. A lot of things with the turnovers and stuff. That was a horrible game for that. And then another thing that I want to bring up is that Stafford did do really well avoiding a couple sacks. He was moving around and getting the scramble. At least he was moving around and getting his agility in there, but it still wasn't enough to hold up for the game.
Yeah, that was a fact that was mentioned. I read earlier today. They talked about that, how Matthew Stafford did such a great job of avoiding pressure in that game, even though he still was sacked. But overall, I don't think the Lions played super horrible. Besides those turnovers and the couple fumbles there too, but we should have won that game hands down, and he didn't. So, and that was on national television, and I think that's what did it in. Logan, what you gave the stats, but what is your take on the Thursday matchup?
I mean, we came out there, we played our hardest, but you can't turn the ball over and expect to win, especially letting them get 21 points off of those turnovers. Those 21 points are a huge swing. You add those 21 points to Detroit because they were on drives that could have possibly scored on Detroit and take them away from Houston. We're winning the game 46-24. That would be the final score of that game. It's huge. You can't turn the ball over. You got to hold on to it. It's the number one rule.
Well, what makes it huge is the fact that Houston was able to capitalize on all three of them. It would have been different if they would have turned it over and the Lions were able to stop them, but they didn't, and they allowed them to capitalize on all three turnovers.
They were on the big plays too. It was big plays. Yep. We allowed too many big plays on defense. The big plays killed us as well because on all three of those turnover scores, I mean, you look at that halfback pass to Watson to Fuller. That was crazy. It was a big play. When they're executing those big plays, it's hard to win as well.
Yeah. So overall, I think for the game itself, I think the Lions played decently, but like we said already, those turnovers were huge in that loss on Thursday. Who did you guys have for your in the zone player for that Thursday game? Mike, did you have an in the zone player for that game on Thursday?
Well, I mean, just looking at the highlights again today and everything, the player that
Logan, did you have in the zone player?
And I thought Kerryon Johnson.
Mike said Kerryon Johnson. I don't know if you heard him. Doesn't sound like you can hear him.
He froze.
He's gone.
Andy's out.
Yep.
Sorry about that, guys. I just want to let everybody know. Thank you for following us and watching us here on YouTube. Go ahead and click that like button. Follow us. Subscribe. We really appreciate it. Thanks to all you fans. And I'll go ahead and let you go ahead and say you're in the zone player there, Mike.
Yeah, I was picking Kerryon Johnson. He seemed to have a lot of key catches for us in the game.
Yeah, he was my second choice. And the guy that I picked for in the zone player was AP. He got the 2 touchdowns. I thought it was good for him. It was kind of exciting for me as a fan watching AP get in the end zone a couple times. It's kind of hyped up.
Yeah, it was nice to see him get some action.
Yeah, he did look good.
Yeah. Andy, you there?
I had to go with, and I apologize, just a little bit of a technical glitch there, but I'm back. That's what happens when you do a live show. Anything can happen. That's why we do it this way. But anyway, I like your guys' in the zone picks. I went with TJ Hawkinson, 5 receptions, 89 yards. I think he did a very good job. As far as receivers go, I think Hawkinson stepped up again and played well. No touchdowns, but he was there when Stafford needed him and obviously made some great plays. So that was my in the zone player. Ben, did you get a chance to see the game enough to pick out an in the zone player who you thought?
I was going to agree with Logan and say Adrian Peterson. He was getting them for the touchdowns. He was looking really good. You just can't hold the team by himself, though.
Yeah, you need a team to win games, and that's the problem with the Lions right now. We don't got a team.
Yeah, it's pretty much they just don't have it all working on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they need some leadership, and hopefully that the leadership will be on the way here soon.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a moment here. Up in the next segment, we're going to break down all that big news. Any final thoughts on the game itself?
Not really.
It was a pretty ugly game. I was watching it on Thanksgiving, and it was like, man, I was all excited because it was national TV, and I was getting to watch it at home. Yeah, no, it was. I was hoping to see a good game on Thanksgiving, but
Yeah, it was pretty rough. The Lions have, the most wins on Thanksgiving. Obviously, we were the team that started it, but it was rough to see how beat up our team looked. Time in, time out. Every time they stepped on the field, it just looked like everybody had this look on their face like they were beat already. When the turnover started happening and things didn't start going their way, it just seemed like they kind of gave up.
The one cool thing I saw was that wasn't Stafford like 2 touchdowns away from passing the most touchdowns on a Thanksgiving day?
Yeah,
he actually got that. Yeah.
Yeah, he actually got that. Yeah, he beat Tony Romo.
Yep.
Yeah, Tony Romo was the leader on that.
Yeah, so that's pretty awesome.
Yep. So I just want to go ahead and remind everybody, thank you all to you, everybody that's listening, everybody that's watching our podcast. Appreciate y'all. Just make sure if you know any friends, family that's not heard of us, that are huge Lions fans, get out there, share, like, subscribe. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Click that subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you get all the up-to-date episodes when they're available. You will get notified of that. And Logan, well said. Thank you to everyone for all your support. And we're going to move on to the big news, the in the news segment of the show. Obviously, the big story coming out from Detroit, Matt Patricia, Bob Quinn out of Detroit, which is something that we've all been waiting for a long time now. And it finally happened. Sheila Ford have made the move and got it done. Super exciting. First, I want to get your guys' initial reactions when you found out the news. Logan, what was going on in your head as soon as you found out?
As soon as I found out, I was jumping for joy. I was ready to pop a bottle of champagne and say, woohoo! Finally, they listen to the fans. Yeah, I think that she waited too long to do it, honestly. I've been defending Patricia over and over again on the show. You guys have heard me defend him. I can't do it anymore. There's no defense for what he's done the last 2 weeks. It's just been horrible. And you can't be a head coach in this league if you can't keep a team together.
No, and I actually got the news from you, Logan. I wasn't happening to not be paying attention to any of the news at the moment, and then you sent me a message, so I had to look it up myself. And sure enough, so I think my ex-wife was here picking up the boys, and I totally just ignored her and just started jumping around. I was so excited about it. So totally in the moment. One of those things. I was a pretty happy guy. Mike, what was your initial reaction when you found out the news?
Well, that was the same for me. I think I found out about the same time you did from Logan's message there. I think, it's no big surprise at all. I think it's a change that needed to happen. But again, it puts us back into a rebuild type scenario, which we're all too familiar with.
Yeah, and we'll get into that point here in just a minute as far as the rebuild goes. Ben, did you have an initial thought when you first heard about Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn being fired?
I had gotten the call from my dad. He called me from Michigan and said that it happened, and I was like, holy crap, like, what the hell? And and right afterwards, I messaged you and talked to you about it on there because I was like, holy shit. I was surprised. It was a long time coming. I think that Patricia should have been out the door a long time ago. On the positive, on the negative side, it's like, you got to also think that these guys also have families and stuff, and their names getting dragged to the dirt. And so you got to realize that it sucks to see that side of it. But, I think Patricia and them did it to themselves.
I seen a picture of Sheila Ford Hemp during that game. She's sitting up in the box, and her hands are on top of her face and just disgust. After I seen that picture, I had a feeling that something was going down. And sure enough, it happened. So, I mean, we knew it was coming. I was not honestly, I wasn't expecting it to happen until the end of the year. So I'm happy that it did happen when it did, because now Patricia and Quinn are gone. Whether that means a rebuild or not, that's what we're going to have to do. But I think the coaching candidates, the rumors going around about some of these coaches that we may possibly be able to get are really positive, and something to be happy to look forward to in the future. As far as who's coming into the new coaching job. What I want to get into, Logan, I know you mentioned this. The Lions players, how did they react to Patricia being fired?
Apparently quite a few active players like the article about Patricia being fired, and then I know some former players had stuff to say, like Darius Slay, for an example. He tweeted out, said, "And I was the problem," and it had the looking eyes, like the wide open looking eyes. I don't know.
This brings you back to, the players on the field are gonna act like they are being led to act. Matt Patricia, he didn't show any oomph as far as getting this team pumped up, and the team played like they didn't care. And I know earlier, Logan, you mentioned that Patricia worked them really hard, and it's going to be a whole different style of coaching, whoever comes in. But even with Darrell Bevell as the interim head coach, that's going to be a whole lot of different coaching, and it's not going to be that super disciplined dictator type coaching style. Maybe that's what the team needs to get going. You know what I mean? Maybe it's going to be a different outlook. But I want to get into Matthew Stafford's interview that I went over. Has to do with Matt Patricia being fired, and then he was also asked about his future with the Lions, and he gave his thoughts on that. We'll start out when Matt Patricia was asked, or Matthew Stafford was asked about his future. He said, "As far as my future goes, past this season, I'll figure that out." He said he'll talk about that later on. To me, I've got a lot of work to do, and there's still a lot of work to be done here right now. He said, as a team and as a leader, there is work to be done, and the rest of the season is still being played, basically is what he said. So, he didn't really say, give a definitive answer. Obviously, he's not going to talk about that too much right at the moment as far as his future goes. He said, what do you guys think about Stafford's comments as far as what, he didn't really answer it, but he's still focusing on, the next game up. What do you guys think about what Matthew Stafford said there?
Well, he's a professional player, and he's got to do that. You got to keep your head in the game. Even if you're planning on not being on the team next year, you have to audition, say, for another team. You got to show your worth still. So he's going to go out there and be the professional he is, do his job, so that way he can either keep his job or find another job in the offseason.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
He was also – I know there was – go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say I thought it was interesting that he seemed like he was completely surprised by the news of it, and he seemed like he wasn't especially happy about it either. He seemed like he was kind of irritated and short in that meeting, and it's maybe it's just because he was so focused on the game and getting the job done, which we know that's how he is, but it was just kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, and I was going to bring that up here. One thing I want to hit real quick, Matthew Stafford, or Sheila Ford was asked about Matthew Stafford's future, and she basically said that it's been really tough for him, but it would be up to the next coach and what the next coach wants to do as far as whether they want to keep Matthew Stafford or not. So that's something to keep in mind. It makes a good point. Once a new coach gets in there, are they going to want to stay with Matthew Stafford? Daryl Bevel commented on Stafford's future. He said Stafford comes to work every day and gives everything he has every single time he's there. And he gives all he has to give 100%. He said he's tough as they come, and he's excited to have him for 5 more weeks in the situation because he knows that Stafford will give him all that he has. And so even Daryl Bevel's comments, they're not really saying, it sounds like he's just focused on the next 5 games and not so much as what's going to happen next, which I think that's a good mindset to have. Overall, Logan, what do you think as far as the comments about Matthew Stafford's future from the rest of the people?
Yeah, I think it's true. Bevel, he's looking at his future. So he figures if he goes 5-0, which I think he will, I think he'll end up keeping the Detroit job. That's just a prediction here.
Whoa.
Wow,
I think
that's a good one.
I think his mentality is going to change the locker room culture there, and I think it's going to lead to victories. Our team's been close with several really good teams. We even beat Arizona, which is going to be a deep runner in the playoffs this year, I think, with Kyler Murray, and we beat them. We beat Arizona. If we can beat Arizona, we can beat anybody on the schedule. Arizona's as tough as they get. D-Hop, Kyler Murray, Christian Kirk, Larry Fitz. We were the first team to stop Larry Fitz from getting a catch.
Yep, that's right.
In his career.
Yep.
That's something to say, too. We can play with the best of them. We just don't keep it together all the time. We just need that one guy that can just keep the team together and have them play as a team, and we can win games.
Yeah, I feel like they've got the talent, and I think that if they get some good leadership in there to help Matt Stafford with the leadership role, I think they could do great things. I mean, honestly, I would like to see Matt Stafford stay, and I would like to see what he could do under some good leadership.
Yeah. Ben, what's your thoughts on the Matthew Stafford and his future in Detroit?
I think he's still got a lot to look forward to. He's got 5 more games to play, and he doesn't know what the next coach is going to be like. So, he's just playing it by, playing the game. That's what he's doing. That's the way he wants to do it, and that's fine. That's the way he should be doing it. He should be more focused on, one of the things that I read was that, hey, we're going against the Bears. I'm worried about the Bears. I'm not worried about what my future is. My future is I got to play here on Sunday against it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Looks like we lost Andy again.
Oh, boy.
Well, we got a chance. So everybody like and subscribe to We Are Lions Nation. As we're waiting for Andy to come back in. Be sure to click on the like and hit a subscribe and get notifications on when we're live and when these guys are live.
Last thing here I want to comment on Matthew Stafford is initially he was asked about Matt Patricia being fired and Bob Quinn being fired, and he didn't really comment. He did kind of follow up on that in this interview. He basically said he never expected it to happen. And he said, I'm always surprised by those things because I never feel like they're going to happen. And then all of a sudden they happen. So it sounds like to me, Matthew Stafford was expecting Patricia to probably be here for the rest of the year anyway. And all of a sudden he's out. So sounds like a big surprise for Stafford as well.
Yeah, because Caldwell got let go at the end of the season. They're not going to let Patricia ride out with his trash he puts on the field.
No.
There's no way. So it's a different situation. Caldwell had a chance of winning the division and going 10-6 and making a first home playoff game in a while. And Caldwell lost the game to Green Bay at the end of the year. That cost him his job.
And I think the thing that killed it for Patricia is that this was a live, nationwide game. It was something that was viewed everywhere, and everybody was watching this, and it was a pretty bad look for everyone. And so that's what I think drew the line.
Yep.
So what did we get on the Sheila Ford conference itself when she made her first appearance, talked to the media about the firing of Patricia and Quinn. What did we hear on that, guys, as far as what she had to say?
Basically, the gist that I got from it was, she was doing it for the fans. She said it's time for the Lions to win, have a winning team, and have a team that the fans can enjoy watching. And I think the live national televised game was what killed it for Patricia. And I think she kind of pointed out to that the last couple of weeks weren't, as what we expected. She says she expects to win. And that's what she hired Patricia and Bob Quinn to do, is build a winning team, and they've done quite the opposite.
Yeah, I think Sheila was trying to give Quinn and Patricia a chance to get that team built. Obviously, in this third year, it still didn't happen, and it was even worse, I think, than it ever has been. And that was just the final straw for Sheila Ford. Mike, did you have anything to add on that?
Well, I did I agree with Logan. From the gist of it that I got was, it does seem like that she wants to build a winning team, and that's her focus, and she wants to make Detroit and the Detroit fans proud, and you got to love that.
Yeah, Mike or Ben, any thoughts on that?
I think Ben might be frozen up there.
Yeah, Ben's froze like an ice block. Look at him. This is live. We are live right now. Look at Ben. He's frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably lagged out right now.
That's awesome. I thought he was still with us this whole time. He's sitting there froze.
He's been sitting pretty still, though.
Yeah, I was wondering how you so still. I'm sure Ben will be back here in just a few moments. This is live, and this stuff does happen. So we're gonna keep running with it. That's what we do here at We Are Lions Nation podcast. We're just gonna keep going.
It's always an adventure.
What do you guys got on how was Darrell Bevell feeling about the interim head coach position? What are his thoughts, as far as what he's thinking?
He says he's got 5 opportunities left. And opportunities, I think he means by keeping his job. 5 opportunities to show Sheila Hampton Ford that he can coach this team and he can get a winning team out of them. He says he's excited to try to bring energy and a new perspective to the team. And he wants to take this as an audition in hopes that everyone takes it as an audition, because players, himself, they're all, if they don't stay with this team, they still need to perform well to get a job with another team. So I think they're gonna go, as they say, balls out for the rest of the year. I have a feeling.
Well, what are your Darrell Bevell hasn't been mentioned as far as a possibility for the Lions head coaching job. Are we going to get the same Lions team because he was the offensive coordinator already, or do we actually get something different with Darrell Bevell as a head coach?
Well, see, him as an offensive coordinator, he's got a boss. Obviously, he's going to have a boss still as a head coach. He's going to have general manager, president, the owner, obviously. But with Patricia being the boss, Patricia's got the final call on everything. Yep. Patricia has the final call, final say on everything. Now he's going to have the final say on everything.
So, in your perspective, we might see a different team out there with Bevell under the helm.
Oh, I think you will.
Can Bevell do a good enough job, Mike, in your eyes, to get to keep that position possibly?
Well, I definitely sure hope he can. Like Logan said, he seems like he's excited and looking forward to the opportunity. I think he's a different personality than Matt Patricia, kind of the drill sergeant type. I hope that the guys are going to respond better to Bevel and work better under Bevel. And I'm hoping for great things, and hopefully he can prove himself and retain that job. I know that I've heard some other folks would like other choices, but I'm with Logan. I think that if he can do it, let's give him a chance.
Yeah, and it's sad because he's not even being mentioned in the conversation, really. Ben, we were talking about Darrell Bevell taking over, and is he a possibility of someone that could actually just keep that coaching position in Detroit? What are your thoughts?
Well, like I told you guys before the show started, this is like a big job interview for him. He's got to really show if he's he's 50 years old, so he's got the experience. He just needs to show if he actually can do it. And I think winning against the Bears would be a good step if he could actually get the first win. I think that he would actually show that he could be a good potential candidate.
Yeah, and I think too as well, he could even keep the offensive coordinator position with the new head coach if they decide to go another way. He could be auditioning for his own position as offensive coordinator to stay retained. A lot of times coaches will retain most position coaches. So
I think it says it makes a big statement on what happens in these next 5 games with Darrell Bevell as interim head coach. I think it's going to be a huge statement as far as what his future is with Detroit. So that's going to be something to watch out for. I don't want to just push Darrell Bevell aside. It's going to be something to keep an eye on for sure. I want to talk about the other coaching candidates that we have. The main ones that are going around. We have 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh and Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bellamy, and then Jim Harbaugh, University of Michigan head coach. Those are the 3, the big ones that have been mentioned. What are your guys' thoughts on those guys?
So the Chiefs offensive coach, we've been doing pretty good down here in Kansas City with him. I think that he would be a good person to think about for going to the Lions. I know he's been wanting to be a head coach for a while now.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah. From what I saw, he seems to be the top choice for a lot of folks. And from what I see out of him, I think he would be my choice if I could pick. But again, I want to wait and see how Bevell does too, and possibly give him the chance if he gets results for us.
Logan,
I like Robert Saleh out of those choices. Hometown guy out of Dearborn. I just like it. He loves the Lions. He's been a fan of them since he was younger, so I just like the pick.
I definitely don't like Jim Harbaugh. I'm ruling that one out. I don't want to see him as a head coach. But I do like Bellamy and Saleh. I like both of them as candidates. But I also like Darrell Bevell as well. I would like to see what he can do these next 5 games. The GM rumors are interesting. There's been some really interesting names floating around as far as the GM spot goes. One of them is former Lion Chris Spielman. Another one is Peyton Manning. And then Louis Riddick, ESPN NFL analyst. Those are the 3 names that I see most commonly said for GM. Logan, what are your thoughts on any of those 3?
I'll take Peyton Manning.
I think anybody would take Peyton Manning.
That is a real thing that's been going around. Peyton Manning's name has been mentioned quite a few times as someone interested. So how awesome would that be to have Peyton Manning as a general manager?
Be pretty awesome.
He's got a good business background. I mean, he's owned a lot of franchises with Papa John's and all them, so he's got a good business background. I think he could make some right choices.
Another person that's super passionate about the Lions football organization is Chris Spielman. And he's someone that I mentioned a long time ago. to possibly be in that GM role. I like that pick as well, just because of the former player.
How's he supposed to announce our games?
Right?
Right, I know. I guess if I had to pick any of them, I don't really know Louis Riddick as much as the other two, but I would have to say it would be such a blessing to have Peyton Manning as a general manager. That guy is just so football smart that he can just bring a whole new thing to the organization. That would be just amazing. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but whoever it is, hopefully they can work together. I don't want to see another GM come in that's connected with the coach and they just they baby each other and do what the other wants and kiss each other's ass like Patricia and Quinn did. I want to see a different combination of football smarts in that so we know we're getting the right players, we're getting the right personnel, and we're setting up to be successful in Detroit. I want to see that finally happen in Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it was all Patricia's call to keep Swift out, and start Peterson. I think Swift should have been started from day one.
Mm-hmm.
I said that many times, Logan. You know I have. I've been on that bandwagon since day one as well. I thought Swift was going to come in and be the starter, and Patricia didn't allow that to happen because we got Adrian Peterson. And I agree with you. I think Swift should have been starting a long time ago. Mike, what are your thoughts as far as Spielman, Peyton Manning, or Louis Riddick?
Well, everybody likes Peyton. You got to love Peyton. But I did hear some concern about Peyton's front office experience and his ability to choose new players for the team. From what I was listening to, it seemed like they, if they did go with Peyton Manning, they'd want somebody in there to advise or help him get the new talent. But you think about Peyton Manning, you think he's definitely got plenty of smarts to pick new talent. I would think.
I would think so too. I mean, an example is a former player is John Lynch. I believe he's the GM right now of what is it, San Francisco?
San Francisco, yep. And then John Elway, GM of Denver.
And they're not a bad team, San Francisco. So, I mean, that could be a really good option to have a former player in there, someone that's super knowledgeable and passionate about football. That's going to bring us to – I want to get into the poll question of the day, which was, what do you want to see? Who do you guys out there want to see as a new head coach? Eric Bellamy, Robert Saleh, and then we had Jim Harbaugh in there as a vote. Basically, Saleh and Bellamy were tied with votes right there with each other. So everybody's kind of thinking the same way we are as far as those are the top two candidates. But again, I don't want to rule out Darrell Bevell either. I think he should be in that conversation as well.
I think Bevell should get his chance. I think he should see if he can actually do it. And if he can, then, come next year, make him an offer if he's looking good.
But the overall results of the poll question, and thank you everybody for voting and participating. We're right where Mike said. Bellamy is the top vote result, over one vote over Saleh. So they're right there neck and neck. So I think those are the two top guys as far as the fans go right now.
Yeah, it's by enemy, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I meant.
I knew it. Yeah,
and like I said, I picked Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh out of those. Ooh.
Yeah, I just want to take a minute and give a shout out to the fans and ask to please like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing. And please feel free to leave comments and interact with us too. Follow us on the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages. And we'd love to hear from you. And we would love to interact with you. If you've got any questions or any ideas, we'd love to hear those too. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. We want to get better for you guys.
Yeah, awesome job, Mike. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and sharing us with everyone. I want to do a quick reminder. Usually in this show, we do our Who You Got result. We're going to wait till the pregame show to do that because the Pittsburgh game has been postponed, and so we don't know our official results of the Who You Got picks. So we're not going to do that on today's episode, but we will do that Thursday night live for you guys. The next thing I want to get to, I said I would bring this game back this week, and I'm going to bring it back tonight. It's called Who Am I? I'm going to give some hints, and we're going to see if you guys can guess the player that I have chosen. So here we go.
My favorite game.
Yep.
Here we go. Let's see if I can stump Logan this time. Mike, I hope you got Google fired up.
I do. You'll probably hear me typing.
This person played for the Lions from 1991 to 1996. That's your first clue.
Okay.
Any guesses?
I need.
I'm not
something
going to waste a guess.
more than that. Yep.
Next clue. Played college football for the University of Miami.
Miami. Shoot.
How's your Google search going, Mike?
It's a little slow at the moment.
Ben's not looking at the screen either. I think he's trying to cheat too.
I'm trying to. Yeah.
He's trying to cheat too.
I'm trying to think right now really hard. Give me a second. Shit.
What was the clue?
So first two clues. He played for the Lions from 1991 to 1996, and he played college football for the University of Miami. You get two guesses, and then you're out. Does anybody want to use a guess right now?
No.
Not yet.
And no, Ben, it's not Jason Hanson.
He played a lot longer than that.
Next clue, this person played for 3 other NFL teams.
Played for 3 other NFL teams.
He did not start his NFL career with the Lions.
Boy, you picked a good one this week, Andy.
Yeah, you're not giving away a whole lot.
Yeah. Right.
I think you've got the cards stacked against us here.
Hey, I'm trying not to make it so easy. Drafted
Easy for
round
Logan.
2, pick 52.
What year?
Not by the Lions.
Drafted what year?
Yeah, don't give that out yet.
When he started.
That's another clue, right?
There's one more clue.
Damn it. Come on, hold on.
Brett Perriman.
That's it, Mike. That's it.
Thanks to Google.
Brett Perriman. Mike
Woohoo, I
cheated
got one.
and got the victory. Finally, Google
Yep.
got
Google.
it. Google won.
Google just got me.
Damn Google.
The last clue was, Brett Perriman. He had 528 career receptions, 6,589 yards, and 30 touchdowns in his career. I wanted to go with Perriman because he didn't start his career with Detroit. So I thought maybe that would throw you guys off a little bit. But, Mike, with
If you
the
would have
power
told
of
me the
Google,
stats, I would have known.
I know. That's why I save it for last.
Yeah, I had no
the
clue.
3 teams he played for.
He played for 3 different teams.
He played for
Who's that?
Chiefs.
Saints?
He played for the Kansas City Chiefs, the Miami Dolphins, and the
The
New
Saints.
Orleans Saints.
Okay, nice.
So,
Well, that's it. That's Who Am I this week. And Mike was successful with the help of Google. to beat me. I might have to make a ban on Google.
Right.
On Google you.
You
We
ban
wouldn't
Google,
even
then.
tell if Mike's doing it or not. We can't see it.
That's
Yeah, if
true.
you ban Google, I'll be in trouble.
There's a reason that Mike is not on camera right now because he's using Google and doesn't want us to see.
And he doesn't have a webcam.
So let's
Power
move
meeting.
on to the final segment of the show. It's been a great show. We've had a lot of fun tonight, but it's time to wrap it up for our Tuesday edition. Let's go to the final word. With everything that's gone on, Logan, what's your final word, man? How can you put this down in a final statement here?
Lions fans, I know it's hard to have any sort of faith, but have faith. We are going to get this turned around, and it's going to start with Bevel. The end of the year, I'm predicting 5-0 to finish the season, and he's going to take over the head coaching position.
All right, so Logan making a bold prediction as what he sees going to happen. Ben, you're the guest today. What's your final word if you can wrap all this up in one?
I'm thinking that we just need to take the time to just, reflect and try to, figure out what's going to happen next. Props to Bevel if he does keep it up and he does do good and hit that 5-0. Even if he does get the position, I hope that he can. He's got to. I think it'd be good for not having to start with a whole new, coach. I think somebody that's already been in there and knows the plays that they do have and makes it their own. I think that'd be good for Bevel to come in and do. But yeah, I think they just need to reflect on all this and move past, the whole Patricia era and just try to focus on, what's next.
Yeah.
All right, and Mike, you want to wrap it up for us? What's your
Yeah,
final
well,
word?
I definitely like Logan's prediction there for Bevel. I did hear too that there are a number of players that expressed that they were happy about Patricia being fired, and I also heard that a number of players may just come off the injury list now that he's gone, which we'll see. I also saw that there was that Matt Patricia could have won the next 24 straight games, and he would have still had more losses than Caldwell, which was an interesting little fact. So I'll leave you with those parting thoughts today.
Well, those are interesting thoughts. And yes, Matt Patricia had one of the worst Lions records of all time as far as head coaching goes. For me, I want to say I know it's been rough. It's we just can't seem to get that right coach combination with the GM in Detroit. But I think and hope that good things are still to come for the Lions organization. It can only go up from here, I hope, without Patricia as the head coach, and that's all I guess we can hope for. We will get there, Lions Nation. We will get there. The Lions will get it done one way or another. We are going to be that top team. We're this close. We are this close every year to just getting the right stuff and getting the right program going. And so I am not giving up. I still am a diehard Lions fan. I don't want to see a complete rebuild again, but if we do have to see that, let's hope it's for the better this time. And we finally get the head coach that we've been waiting for this organization for a long time, and they get it done and become a winning franchise. Let's hope. That being said, that's it for tonight's show. On behalf of Logan Erickson and Mike Burke, I want to thank our guest, Ben Robinson, for joining us on the show tonight. It was good having you on, great supporter of our show. And thank you all for listening and tuning in. And remember, click that subscribe button, hit that like button, and ring that notification bell. Let's make us get up there as your favorite We Are Lions Nation, as your favorite podcast for Lions football talk. We want to be up there with you guys, and we appreciate everything that you do. Good night, everybody, and we will see you Thursday night live at 9 p.m. One
Go
problem.
Lions.
Go Bevel.
One pride.
Yeah.
See you, Ben.